we are all human beings, similar in having the same organs, general traits, and body structure, and most importantly, we all have the same brain and brain structure. However, despite this, we are not all at the same level of intelligence. Some people are very smart, creative, and have amazing skills, while others, my dear, do not be sad. So, what is the reason for this? Intelligence linked to brain weight. Smart people had big brains, less intelligent had small brains. Described as small-brained, they thought bigger brains, like computers with more transistors, meant better memory and faster calculations. Medical science showed brain size varies but doesn't impact intelligence. Average brain weights: 1370 g males, 1200 g females. Brain size varies among individuals, but it doesn't significantly impact intelligence. For instance, average male brain weight is 1370 grams, females 1200 grams. Does this mean women are less intelligent? Absolutely not. A prime example is Albert Einstein. Dr. Thomas Harvey believed Einstein's brain held the secret to his genius. After Einstein's death, Harvey took his brain for research. So, the answer is no. Brain weight can indeed vary from person to person, but medical research has not indicated that this has a significant impact on intelligence levels. For example, the average brain weight for adult males is about 1370 grams, while for adult females, it is around 1200 grams. Women's brains are 170 grams smaller. Does this mean girls are less intelligent? No. Einstein's brain shows intelligence isn't size-related. Dr. Harvey believed Einstein's brain's weight and structure held his genius. After Einstein died, Harvey stole his brain during the autopsy for research. Surprisingly, Einstein's brain weighed 1230 grams, less than average for adult males. Yet Einstein's intelligence and creativity are undisputed. Similarly, Anatole France, a top French novelist, won the 1921 Nobel Prize in Literature. The surprise was that Einstein's brain weighed about 12 or 30 grams, which is less than the average weight for any adult male. And this is Einstein, whose intelligence and creativity are undisputed. You also have someone like the French writer and novelist Anatole France, one of the most important French novelists ever, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1921. Despite that, when the doctor studied his brain after his death, they found it weighed about 1017 grams, which means his brain was quite small. Yet, the man was intelligent and creative. But does this mean that the opposite is true, that those with smaller brains are also smarter? The answer is no. The Russian writer Ivan Turgenev is one of the most important novelists of the 19th century, not just in Russia, but in the whole world. When the doctors weighed his brain after he died, they found it to be 2 kilograms, which is a very large number compared to the normal average. And of course, the man was intelligent and creative. So what can we conclude from this? That brain weight has no relation to intelligence or stupidity. In 2018, Gideon Nafi and Philip Qualinger studied 13,000 people to find the link between brain weight and intelligence. The participants were diverse. The study showed brain size affects intelligence slightly. Larger brains scored 2% better on cognitive tests. Other tests, like academic ones, showed no effect. So none of you can use the excuse of saying to your dad, "My brain is small." People with similar brain weights varied in intelligence. This indicates other factors affect intelligence. Other tests, like academic achievement tests, show brain weight had no effect. People with similar brain weights varied in intelligence. This indicates other factors cause intelligence differences. Some say intelligence relates to brain region connectivity. Better brain and neuron connections make a person smarter. Others say it's genetic, inherited through parental genes. A third opinion attributes it to environmental factors, where upbringing determines intelligence. Researchers support this with twin studies, showing different environments lead to different intelligence levels. There are third opinions that say that the issue is due to environmental factors, meaning that the environment in which the child grows up is what determines his intelligence level, and researchers infer this from experiments conducted on twin sisters, in which they noticed that identical twins who lived in different environments had different intelligence levels. We must understand what intelligence means. So far, we haven't agreed on a fixed definition of intelligence. The intelligence tests that are done test two types: logical intelligence and linguistic intelligence. However, researchers agree that there are more than 8 types of intelligence. Because of this, we can't say that some people are smart and others are dumb, because there might not even be any dumb people. So, what do you think is smart or dumb? The intelligence tests available today came as the French government was regulating the school process. They wanted to identify the number of children with low academic intelligence so that they could provide them with special programs. The intelligence tests that are available today emerged because the French government back in the day was trying to regulate the educational process in schools. They wanted to identify the number of children whose academic intelligence was low for their age so that they could provide them with special programs. The French government tasked psychologist Alfred Binet to determine children's IQ levels. Binet observed children of various ages to establish a standard for comparison. For instance, to assess a 10-year-old's IQ, he compared their abilities to the typical capabilities of 10-year-olds. The average level reached by most children was termed the fixed biological age, while the tested child's performance was the mental age. IQ was calculated using a simple equation, a concept familiar to many. This idea also underpins the Stanford-Binet test, later developed by American psychologist Lewis Terman. Terman conducted a notable experiment, testing a large group of American children and identifying about 1,500 with IQs over 135, classifying them as geniuses. Terman monitored these children to see their future achievements. Surprisingly, as adults, they did not significantly differ from others, with few achieving exceptional status. This is the same idea behind the Stanford-Binet test by Lewis Terman. He tested many American children and found about 1,500 with IQs over 135, labeling them geniuses. Terman monitored these children to see their future. Surprisingly, they didn't differ much from others. Few were exceptional. Some low IQ scorers became creative, like Nobel winners Richard Feynman, Luis Alvarez, and William Shockley. Terman monitored gifted children to see their future outcomes. Surprisingly, these smart kids didn't differ much from others. None became a Mozart or Einstein, and only a few of the 1,500 were exceptional. More surprising, some low IQ scorers became creative geniuses, like Nobel laureates Richard Feynman, Luis Alvarez, and William Shockley, who failed the IQ test twice. They challenged the world's definition of intelligence, proving that test scores don't define true intellect. Intelligence can't be confined to a test. Most tests measure academic skills, not overall intelligence, which includes logical, linguistic, visual, and emotional aspects. Thus, being dumb in one area means being smart in another. There's no absolute intelligence or stupidity. Shockley failed the IQ test twice, questioning intelligence definitions. Intelligence isn't just test scores. Tests measure academic skills, not overall intelligence, which includes logical, linguistic, visual, and emotional types. Most of these Zakat tests measure the percentage of academic comprehension because that was their purpose originally. These tests do not measure the general intelligence of the person because intelligence is not mathematics and solving questions. There is logical intelligence, linguistic intelligence, visual intelligence, emotional intelligence, and many others. If someone is stupid in our concept of one of these, he is definitely smart in another thing. Therefore, there is no absolute intelligence or absolute stupidity. That's why we can't say that some people are smart and others are dumb. And if you score low on an IQ test, don't worry, you're still good. So, that's it. Who made it this far? All of you who did are the best. Please give us a like before you leave so we can see how many people reach the end.